live with their 4 dogs in a semi-detached house they just bought. Hader comes from Brazil. Wayne is a native Irishman. The two have been a couple for 7 years. They've been planning a wedding since same-sex marriage was introduced in Ireland. That was in 2015.
People have been getting married for thousands of years. It's an ancient institution, but for some people, it's perhaps a bit too ancient. 89% of the world's population now live in countries with falling marriage rates. This is especially pronounced in the richest countries. Among the 38 OECD nations, most recorded between 7 and 10 marriages per 1,000 people in 1970. By 1995, this fell to around 5 to 7 marriages, and it continues to plummet today. So why is this happening, and will it spell the end of marriage as we know it?
Like him.
You're exactly like your mother. Everything you're complaining about her, you're doing. You're suffocating Henry.
First of all, I love my mother. She was a wonderful mother.
Just repeating what you told me.
Secondly, how dare you compare my mothering to my mother? I may be like my father, but I am not like my mother.
You are! And you're like my father. You're also like my mother. You're all the bad things about all of these people. But mostly your mother. When we would lie in bed together, sometimes I would look at you and see her and just feel so gross.
Marriage really is for 4 things. First of all, it is for children. Be fruitful and multiply. And children, as we heard read tonight in the Psalm, are a heritage from the Lord. They are a blessing from heaven. Secondly, marriage is to eliminate solitude. It is not good for man to be alone. It isn't good for a lot of reasons. It isn't good because man needs a complement to his life. He needs companionship. He needs friendship. He needs accountability. Marriage is designed then to produce children and to provide friendship, to eliminate solitude. Thirdly, to prevent immorality. The Apostle Paul says we need to be married to prevent immorality.
Pink cloud. So I asked her last night at her graduation prom, and she said yes. We're going to be married in August.
Wow, married? But she's just finishing high school, and you still have 2 years at the university. That's a tough road, Larry.
And we were going to live downstairs. Pete had a good job. Worked in the same plant as my dad. But Dad didn't introduce us, though. We met at the church.
To be single, it's okay to live without any relationships with the opposite sex, but it's a whole lot better to marry because of immoralities. That's okay. They were seeing sexual relationships of any kind in any relationship as some kind of a defilement. But Paul says, look, it's okay to be single. It's okay to live without any relationships with the opposite sex, but it's a whole lot better to marry because of immoralities. And then when you do marry, you have the duty to fulfill to each other.